Hey, peace and blessings, y'all. It's Nero here. In this video, I want to talk with you guys today about the sun and the signs. And the last one we did sun and Virgo. Now in this one, we're going to do sun and Libra. So yeah, for all my Libras out there, let me know how you feel about this. For all my Libra suns in particular, let me know how you guys feel about this video. So now, along with this being, sun and Libra, you can also look at this as like sun in the seventh house and sun conjunct Venus, if you're familiar with the houses in astrology and aspects. Otherwise, just look at it from like the It just and even talking about the sun sign, you got to be familiar with the planets, so that too. But if you're watching my videos by this point, I assume you're familiar with all this, so I'm not gonna get to drag that out too much. And if you're not, just go get more in depth with it, and you'll be back in no time. But yeah, like I was saying, let's talk about Sun and Libra. So Sun and Libra, for the most part, like Gemini and Aquarius, because these are all your air signs, Sun and air signs. These people want and their actions are gonna have they're gonna have that logical approach. They're gonna be dealing with rationality and being analytical, and through doing things all that and through doing things in that fashion, they will be able to construct and organize things in order to bring them that structure and stability and that foundation that they need. And kind of like Earth, but whereas Earth does that more so, and Earth is physical, so it likes to do it more so what can be seen and actually touched, felt and things like that. Air likes to do it more so with because air is also the element that deals with the mind and your thinking and intellect. That's where it likes to do it. It likes to do it with the ideas and the thoughts, different those different ideas, different thought forms, and that's Gemini, and then you got like new ones. That's you know and you got the new ones. That's like Libra, and then you got the ones where and then you got the ones where you are and then you got the ones where you're really I don't know how I want to say it. But then you got the ones where you really like you are committed to that, and that's Aquarius. Yeah, and that's pretty much the same thing. All sun and air signs are pretty much going for the same thing, and they're just always got to remember the modality. They just do it in a you know they just do it differently. They're all part of the same tribe. They just play different roles. So yeah. Now, we talk about Sun and Libra, and how it's air sign. It likes to you know and we talk and then yeah, I talked about Gemini already. Gemini's mutable, which is why I said different. Ideas, ways of thinking, communicating, and all that. Libra is cardinal air. Liking to initiate and create the new ways of thinking, communicating, being rational, which is why Libras are known as the mediators. And then Aquarius is the sign is the fixed air. It's fixated on things dealing with logic, communication, rationality, intellect, and ideas. So these are why Aquarius is known as like your scientists and things like that, and like your geniuses, your masterminds, all that. So yeah, don't want to get too much into that. Yeah. Where else I go? Well, I think I pretty much got that across. Now let's talk about Sun and Seventh House. When I'm still gonna make a video on this separately because you should keep things separately so people get it. But let's talk about Sun and Seventh House and how that actually correlates to Sun and Libra. So and then air is also an element that those are being relatable. So and and then we talk about analyzing and organizing. Um, and then mainly we don't talk about that more so rationality. We talk about rationality. Trying to make sense out of things. When you try to make sense out of things, what are you usually doing? Trying to make sense out of something. You're trying to make mainly more so your rationality, making sense out of things. What is that usually like in opposition to, or trying to balance out things that do not make sense? Trying to relate to things that don't make sense. But that's just like my take on it. So yeah, and this is and then this is why in the signs, this is why Libra opposes Aries. But I won't get into that in this video. But yeah, and I actually talk about that in my videos where I just talk about the signs Aries and Libra, not so much sun placements. So if you really want to know what I'm going to talk about this in particular, just go watch those videos and that'll break that down. But yeah, like I was talking about, with the seventh house sun. Um, What's the seventh house? The seventh house, without getting too much details, it's a house that deals with your, relationships, your connections, partnerships, things like that, regardless of whether it's like romantic, marriage partner, business partnerships, you know, any any kind of partnerships. Period is what is what seventh house deals with, and then it's and it's also the house that deals with our descendant, like our other half too. So yeah. Now, with the sun here, what is the sun? What is this? And then the seventh house is also an air house too. But and then we talk about Venus, and Venus rules over this house, but I'll get to that in a minute. So with the sun, with the sun here in the seventh house, what does that mean? A person's wants and action is going to be focused on what, relating to others, relationships, trying to form, those form partnerships with others, trying to, kind of like Virgo in a way, but Virgo, the way Virgo and Libra do things is still different, but kind of want to, you know, organize with others because like I was talking about my Virgo video. Virgo is an Earth sign, but it's like the most air of the Earth signs. And if you're a Virgo, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you just understand Virgos and have knowledge on what Virgo's about, you know what I mean. So yeah, so it is kind of like Virgo in a way, trying seeking those partnerships so that you can build and build that structure and that organization all together. So yeah, and then that's how that goes hand in hand with like Sun in the sign of Libra. Want to initiate wanting to initiate that communication and trying to take the lead in, compromising, and setting up that balance and that structure, things like that. And now, Libra itself. And then don't forget, if something sounds confusing, don't make sense. Like I always say in my videos, feel free to add that down in the comments, please. And now, Sun, Sun we were talking about earlier how I was talking about earlier how Sun and Libra can also, if you're familiar with the aspects, can also be like compared to Sun conjunct Venus too. That's what I want to get to next because there's two signs that Venus is associated with. There's two signs that the planet Venus is associated with. That's Taurus, and that's more and that's more so to showing love and trying to balance things out through what they physically have, and so yeah, and then there's Libra, and then Libra likes to and then Libra, and this is where seventh house, Libra and Venus all go hand in hand, like I talk about in the sign of Libra, and then the actual video talking about the seventh house in the video talking about the planet Libra. Um, Libra likes to show that love and that balance and all that, the harmony and all that through, like I was talking about earlier, through communication, through the logic and rationality, trying to make sense out of things, and that's how they like to compromise. So, and that's their way of compromising and showing love. So, yeah. Now, when I was talking about Sun conjunct Venus, what that simply means is that, what's the Sun, your wants, actions, and conscious awareness. What's Venus, the planet of love, and how you give and receive it, and what you have to offer, and when it's Libra's air, so it's communication. But anyway, basically, with Sun conjunct Venus here, it's like the thing, and it's like I always say, it's because Venus, yep, and it's because since Venus is ruled by Libra, or no, since Libra is ruled by Venus, I'm overthinking it, getting distracted. But yeah, since Libra is ruled by Venus, and the Sun is in Libra, I always say when the Sun is in a certain sign, it's like it's partnering up with the planet that rules over that sign. That's why I say Sun conjunct Venus, and all this simply means is that your wants, your actions, what you're consciously aware of, is partnered up and in alignment with how you like to how, the way you like to give and receive love and what you have to offer, things like that. And it's like, and that's why I say you can kind of twist it here and like really use your imagination and your way of constructing ideas in your head when it comes to like this actual way of looking at it. So that's all it is. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end it there. This is gonna be my take on Sun and Libra. And if you enjoyed it, cool. But more so importantly, if you got any feedback, criticism, please leave that down in the comments. I'll talk to you guys later. We'll talk about Sun and Scorpio. Till then, love y'all. Peace.